Hello friend, I am going to start with the graph theory, and we know that the graph theory is the part of the discrete mathematics. So firstly we have learned about there is some fundamental terminology related to the graph theory. So firstly, what is the graph? So graph is basically related to the two terms. V, that means V is called a vertex and E is called a edges. So I have defined V is the set of all the vertex in the graph G, and E is the set of all the edges in the graph in the edges G of graph G. Suppose a graph G is given. In this graph we can see that A, B, C, D. This is the A and this is the B and this is the C and this is the D. I have marked the blue marker. This indicated are vertex, and E1, E2 and E3, E4 are the edges of the graph, and this graph is represented by G. So if you talk about my definition, then V is equal to set of vertex, that is ABCD, and set of all edges, that is E1, E2 and E3, E4. And the next term is related to the graph theory, is what is the order and size of a given graph. That means if any graph is given, how can find about the order and size of the graph. So I have denoted the order of O and size modulus of E and modulus of O. So I have defined the order of a graph is equal to number of vertex in the graph. That means in any given graph, if you have a n number of vertex, that means the size of the order of the graph is equal to n, and if the number of edges is equal to total number of edges, denote the size of the graph. So in this given graph we can see that the order is equal to 4, that means ABCD, and size is equal to also 4. Suppose this is the graph is given, this is the graph is given. So what is the order and size of the graph? So we can easily say that the order is equal to 4 and edges is equal to 6, because this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. So next terminology is the what is the directed and non-directed graph and loops. So basically there is a term related to the mathematics we all know about. This is this bracket and meaning of this bracket. The meaning of this bracket is means that is the order is important. The first bracket is order is important. That means if we given 1 2, that means only you have to go one position to second position, and if we 1 2 this bracket second bracket, that means either you can go from 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. So I have related I have these two brackets are related to use the definition in directed and non-directed graph. So firstly see about the what is the non-directed graph. So if the given graph is given, how can check this given graph is directed or undirected? So firstly non-directed, if there is a edge, each edge is represented by the given graph. That means in a non-directed graph, each edge is represented by set of two vertex Vi and Vj, and Vi and Vj in any order. That means this is in A, B, C, D. That means we can go to the AB, we can go to the either AB or BA. Can go to the AB, that means these are belonging to the non-directed graph. And the directed graph saying this, the main thing is that this braces is important, this braces is more important. And the directed graph is that if there is a edge between I to j, only I to j, that means in this case we are denoted like this, that means every edge has a direction. So in the directed graph there must be a direction. As the name suggests, directed, that means where you have want to go, either which direction. That means in a directed graph direction is also always mandatory. And next is the loop, and I have said the definition of a loop: an edge drawn from the vertex itself. I am saying that an edge drawn from the vertex itself is known as loop. So I am saying that suppose this is the graph. I am saying that an edge drawn from the vertex itself. Suppose this is the graph and this is the edge. So we can say that A is a loop or self loop. You can say that loop or self loop both are same. Loop or self loop both are same. So I have summarized. I want to summarize this lecture. So firstly, we have seen about the graph theory, and in the graph theory we have known about the vertices and edges of the graph, and order of the graph is the number of vertex in the given graph, and size equal to number of edges in the graph. And non-directed graph, that means there is no order, that means bidirection, that means by default AD means AD and or DA, we can go either both direction. In directed graph there is a some direction between I to j, and loop and edge draw from the vertex itself is known as a loop. So we have seen about only 3-4 terminology. So next lecture we have seen about what is the simple graph, parallel graph and multi graph. Thanks for watching.